We call ourselves vegetarian. We call ourselves meat eaters. We call ourselves we don't eat. We don't eat animals. Do you want me to open a chapter in this for you to understand how your soul gets elevated, receives energy from the outside in the kingdom of the life? Go back into my teachings for past years. I always said, man consumes 20% of the food he needs. 80% comes from atmosphere. Some of it we see, some of it we don't. Some of it we are aware of, but we never understood. Some of it we talk about the others, but we never look at ourselves. We are that others too. I taught in depth, but some of you never understood, and most of you were just busy absorbing the knowledge, didn't have to digest the time to understand it. Let's go back on a very simple principle. Go back to your CO2 boxes. What happens in your CO2 box? In a CO2 box, due to inherent conditions we create deliberately, we create the soul of CO2. Soul which is hungry to give, but in giving it receives. A CO2 box or CH3 box are the only things you as knowledge seekers have graduated to knowledge of to create a gaseous or matter state fields. In a copper, you use nano-coated copper and a copper, and you create the soul of the copper, and the other copper plate is ready to give, and you create the GaNs of copper. In the CO2, you create the soul of the CO2 magnetic field. And as a giver, they all come to take, and they convert to the CO2. But that's not the point. The most important point in the process of showing the CO2 was to look at the amino acid on the top. In coming to give the carbon to create with the oxygen, CO2 GaNs, because now I'm a needer, I want it because I want to do something with it, you produce the CO2. But the amino acid is gathered on the top the same way. You collect the amino acid to put it aside. Hello. The old sayings, what are you looking for? What did you miss? What was the part that you did not understand in this process? Why does your CO2 box get saturated and does not create more CO2s? Hello? What happened to the amino acid? Haven't understood yet? I'll give you another example. As I said many times, you vegans and vegetarians understand this very well because you taste it, you know it, and you're more sensitive to it. When you put a leaf of lettuce, when you taste it, softness of slipping in your tongue, in your mouth, the texture of the softness of the leaves of the vegetables you put as a salad. And the slipping and sliding is the amino acid, is life, which gave its life for the leaf to absorb from it to feed itself. Again, amino acid, the slippiness is the amount of the amino acid, the fatness which sits on it. You actually don't get much from the content of the physicality of the leaf. You get from what fat, what amino acid is on the leaf that converts into energy of the amino acid of your stomach, and it becomes part of your energy. Wash the leaf much harder with more detergent, and you take most of it away. But you have to eat more of them to compensate for the physical dimension of it. The leaf has used that amino acid to absorb energy from the universe to itself that it guarantees its life. But why does the leaf get crumbled and then get destroyed or whatever? Because that field strength creating the fields between the two plates changes, and the atmosphere is not there to compensate for the amino acid of that strength. The leaf goes yellow, and then it cannot compensate, it goes dry, but it still carries layers of the amino acid during its lifetime. So it has absorbed energy from the environment to survive. It never ate, it just created circulation as we have in a CO2 box. Now come to you as a humans. Hello. Have you just come out of the shower? Wiped everything with the best shampoos and the soaps, the most expensive ones, to wash yourself to feel clean? Why do you do this? Why do you feel good when you wash your face and hand and your body? Because you remove the amino acid which is your body has absorbed from the environment. You call it, my skin comes out, and you wash the skin off. But what was on top of it before you wash the skin off? The amino acid of the atmosphere. The 80% of the extra food which you absorb from the environment partially has come in from the amino acid. Next time when you're sitting and you're playing with your forehead and you see it's a bit greasy and a bit oily, say, thank you for feeding me. That amino acid is the essence of the fields which gets absorbed by the body inside. The composition of the fields of the work of the blood and the brain dictates what amino acid gets absorbed on your skin, that this energy is needed for inside. Wash yourself better, absorb better. But why do we go old? Why do we change? Because the heartbeat, the physicality changes and cannot absorb the same amino acid strength as before. Now you are collecting a compound now, a deviation now, which that deviation gives you the old age skin. Because it has to cringe and make more surface area, and you get crinkly skins that you absorb more energy for the inner organs of your body. Now you understand. There is no difference between you and the leaf and your CO2 box. You're all absorbing energies from the environment in a composite fields of this planet, which is the essence of the creation as amino acid. Now you know where your 80% comes. wash your face with better soaps, and wash yourself with different soaps, and do whatever you like. As your soap has a composition of different amino acids, it changes that you receive variation of for a while till that balances, you go back in again till you wash. Now you understand how the knowledge of creation in man is so back to front. Then look at why you get temperatures. Look at why there's a limitation at 42 degrees or 44 degrees. You start having the loosening of the brain cells and all sorts of problems when you pass such a temperature. Because at that temperature, within a structural physicality of the body of the man, amino acid compounds change position. And if it goes too high, they open up to create the same position as with the fishes, with the what we call covalent bond, and the cell cannot hold on to. Now you understand the essence of life from the plasmatic magnetic field position. In the condition of enhancement unit, I transfer the energy of the amino acid in a given way directly into the direction inside the body of the man. Not waiting for it to stick as a what we call resisting skin and then going in as what it needs. I was talking to knowledge seekers recently and said, you know, these creams have a lot of zinc in them. I said, yes, because zinc is the link of emotion. And isn't the skin of man in the middle layer where we feel everything, all our emotions, how we get touched, we are pinched, we are pressed, we are beaten? You deal with a skin condition, you have to have a zinc because it's the combination between the zinc and the salt composition which gives you the emotion, connection, feel the strength to the brain of the man and to the soul of the man. Now you understand, when you come to the skin problems, which I always give you, use the CO2, the zinc, and the amino acid of the zinc and amino acid of the CO2. You look at the CO2, but how can I make the connection with your skin when you put my fat on it, the amino acid which came with it, that it matches your skin? Mr. Keshe, it worked. It works because we understand the process of creation. We understand the process of interaction of the field. Now, with new technologies, with new emergence of the knowledge, we bring new dimensions. We bring new know-how. We bring new technologies. Because now we can create stones which absorb certain plasmas, certain amino acid, that amino acid in the stone can create a condition in the body of the man. So we give you a stone to put in your pocket. No, because we know you're a human. You need to be connected to the amino acid of it. Next time, you women or men, you touch your diamond rings, you touch your silver earrings and necklaces, don't clean them, don't wipe them. Smother them in the amino acid of silver and see what feelings you get. Smother them with the amino acid of what you have created in the level. And then you see the jewelry will have different meaning. Most of you will take it off and you never put it on again. because that hunger or position at that field of strength is satisfied in the dimension of the direct fields. You don't see a need to wear jewelry, because in essence, you create the fields within you, that you receive it without the need for it to be there, that you absorb some of the amino acids. Many of you have seen me for years. I wear nothing, because these are positions. I'm with it. I have everything. I don't need to attach to me to have something else. Then you satisfy the needs. Then you understand why we even talk about the amino acid. Because look at the combination of the plasma of it. A complete cycle, sustainable in every dimension. Even you dry the fruit, the amino acid is still within it, because it can change its composition. It just needs energy transfer in a given direction or dimension. That's why we plant our water, we water our plants, to create that connection, that the amino acid in the environment can interact with it, that it receives energy. We put the seed in the ground and it grows. Why? What's the essence of it? The earth layers are filled with the given strength amino acid. Now we bury the seed and we put the fat on it. It receives it and it grows. Try to understand the operation of the amino acid. The teaching of today is to understand the transfer of the energy, where that 80% comes from. Don't forget that some of the energies we create within our soul to absorb the energies of the universe, they'll not necessarily end up an amino acid on the skin. That is just for the emotion. Some of them transfer as amino acid inside the cell of the body of the man. Some of them become those neutrinos that they just give enough energy, because I just don't need it, but just need it to go through to absorb what I need for creation of specific energy fields in the strength field of the soul of the man. Man does not create it on this earth. The atmospheric condition of the solar system doesn't allow it, but I need it for my life. Now you understand in the teaching of path why I said we absorb cosmic rays, we absorb fields from the universe, because we don't have it here, but the soul needs it for its existence. It's that, what I call vitamin H. Or in some cases, I call it the X factor in process of the creation. Because that vitamin H is the health fields that does not exist for man on this planet. That's why when we travel the depth of the space, we receive those field strength with what we call vitamins that satisfies the body of the man, the life of the man. Man does not get cancer because he absorbs it without the filtering of the atmosphere, without the filtering of the solar system, without filtering of the galaxy. As I said to the IAEA very directly recently, I can create nuclear material out of water. What are you trying to restrict us? I can create gamma rays, I can create whatever cosmic rays from just a glass of water. Isn't this what I did? That the damn forsaken nation of Belgium put me as a terrorist, because they said the only way you can create graphene is only through the use of gamma rays. Did I use gamma rays? No. I created the fields that within the structure of the carbon allows carbon-14, which is the backbone of creation of the fields of the universe in the radiation, able to be created. And man has not even understood how to create carbon-14. Because I have the knowledge of the universe, I understand the interaction of the fields. Hello? H2O? Hello? 16 and 2 hydrogen. If I can change the 2 hydrogen in a specific way to deuterium, which I know how to do, doesn't leave me a carbon-14. Now you understand. Belgium did to me, made me a terrorist, a criminal. Didn't do that to the guy who said the earth is not the center of the universe. They hung him in a church in Pisa. Now you understand. Now you understand how the lack of understanding and ignorance has become the medieval ages with the damnation of Belgium, with the criminals and pedophiles who their object is to abuse the body and the science, body of the children. We gave to mankind the most advanced technology. And what did they do? They made a criminal out of us. We punished them by not receiving the knowledge. It dragged it for 7 years, 8 years. Now we open it. Understanding the knowledge is more important than trying to use the knowledge, because when you understand it, you apply it when you can. But you have to know how to use it. You have to know what conditions you create that leads to what you need. Orientation of the carbon-14 in the interaction of the fields of the universe continuously creates the fields which leads to creation of the cosmic rays. When man understands this, man has cracked the secrets of creation. For me, as a passenger of universe, is an alphabet of the vocabulary of the science. It's actually the A of it, because without it you can't have the B. But you have not understood it yet. A pedophile policeman makes the biggest science in the world, in the life of the man, a crime. And then they send a woman to make sure the scientist is killed and they can do what they like. You've got to understand, the knowledge I've given you in the creation of the CO2, in the CO2 box, look at it. Why did I give you the first box as a CO2? Carbon-12? What did I just explain with you with the oxygen, with the presence of the hydrogen? Haven't I given you carbon-14 without you understanding it? I've given you the basic alphabet of the creation in the world of the creator, and you still, what happened when we put the CO2 in and you get this and it doesn't work? Go to the structure of the body of man. You call it B12. Can you create, or B9, which folic acid? Hello, I'm pregnant. Folic acid, you need faster division of the cells, which comes from radiation. I have given you the radiation creation in the fields of the universe. You're still entangling, what would I do with the amino acid? What would I do with the creation of gas CO2? If you understand this, I have given you both the knowledge of the earthly knowledge and the knowledge of the universe in creation in your CO2 books. But you don't have the knowledge. And I've been looking at this for years. I said, when is humans going to see what they've got? Go and read the report of IMEC, which says they have detected graphene on the first parachutes. We gave it to the government of Belgium to test. And they said this is using a nuclear gamma rays, and Mr. Keshe is a terrorist. Damn the nation that has held the humanity back behind by 10 years. I'll see an end to the nation of Belgium and blood of Belgium on this planet, because they've done enough damage. Not only to mankind, but to the children of the man. This race should have never been created and should have not brought so much hardship to humanity. When we wish to end, we process it that will come to an end. Because the rest of the humanity has to move forward and live with the pleasure of the knowledge. You know, when I explained to you before that we come here to taste, to test, to understand, I had to come here to understand this process of the humanity which lives within this blood. And now we know what to do with it. We elevate it that it doesn't exist, but elevate it to the doldrums of the universe, not promotion of higher, because they have to learn. Listen to the teaching. You become a dust in the soul of another because you have not chosen to understand. Go back into what I call the original teachings. Go back to understanding the gas boxes we gave you. Understand now and look at it with a new eye. In a dimension of universal knowledge, not in a dimension of the man knowledge of plasma. I have given you the biggest gift in the knowledge of humanity and the universe, if you know how to use it. I gave you the nanomaterial for conversion. I gave you the understanding of nanotechnology from the matters of itself to understand in conjunction with the others, we will create the condition of existence. Now you understand. The secret of the knowledge to connect man to the universal energies is your CO2 box. Go back to it and redo it. But this time, don't look at it in the dimension of just the CO2. Look at it in the dimension of the fields of transformation and division in a universal level. Then you might see what will be achieved in the enhancement unit in getting man into space. Do I need to elevate the whole body of the man to move it? Or do I create a condition of the carbon-14 in the level of the dimension of position and the place in the universe that I can deliver the soul to the point and the position? Be it New York, be it Moon, be it Jupiter, or another dimension in the universe. The technology of today is so mature. What I have taught you is so complete that if you understand it, man will not stay in the dimension of the physicality to suffer. You have both. The two key communication line of the universe in your hand. Go back to my teachings. Go back to all the medical teachings. Go back every time we touched about the health of the man. We said carbon is a connector, is the line of communication. Macro and micro. In the dimension of physicality of the man, you have carbon 12. In the dimension of connection of the universal, you have carbon 14. In some part of the universe, you come to carbon 16, and in some part of the universe, you carbon 8. Understand why. What is the proposition? What is the understanding of it? What fields does it create that allows the composition and creation of sustaining a plasma? We call it life. Now you understand how fundamental the knowledge is and how much you've been taught the what I call human, earthly matter state, but at the same time, in parallel, you had the knowledge of the universal communication and process of understanding. This is part of our work. And I just see Rick posting something. It says carbon 14 balances connection and locks between the physicality and soul. I don't know when this is published.
It says May 2019. It's in the KF Plasma Times, Mr. Keshe.
Is part of the teaching. So you see, we have not missed. Now you understand. Now you understand the key of man to become the passengers of the universe in any dimension without physicality is your CO2 box. You have physical, it has emotion with it. I gave you creating zinc boxes. You have muscle tissue. I gave you copper boxes. But originally, I gave you the key to connection between universal and the earth matter state. Today's teaching is again connecting the energies of the universe. Understand it. Remember that amino acid on your skin has a carbon connection. Do you want it to be carbon 14? Do you want it to be 40% carbon 14? You want it to be 10% carbon 14 and the rest carbon 12. The carbon 14 side elevates your soul. The carbon 12 still feeds your physicality and connects to your other dimensions. I hope today you learned how the connection between the soul of the man, the physicality of the man, and the environment comes together. And all this you have done many times. Now you can connect. Is understanding which matters. And if you understood this, you will maggraph systems which you've been looking for, will absorb the energies from the universe and converts it into energy through the line of connection of the carbon within your system to your maggraph system. You have your generator. And as long as you want to connect the wires and this and that, my friend, still carry on playing.